All right, let's see if we have any questions on Facebook. No questions at the moment. Anything from Instagram? May Allah bless all of you brothers and sisters as well. Can I combine prayers at work due to the timing? Not on a daily basis unless you're traveling. We call it skiing or skying in the UK when you let water fall into your mouth from the bottle so lips don't touch it. Allahu Akbar. Thanks a lot once again to those who brought badges. All right, khair inshallah. Let's see what we have on YouTube. First question is from the UK. Initials AO, London, UK. Assalamu alaikum. If drinking through a straw, what hand should I use to hold the cup and which to hold the straw? Hayakallah Sheikh. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Inshallah ta'ala, try to hold the straw with the right hand. If you're forced to use two hands, if you can't just use one hand, hold the cup with the left and the straw with the right. Bi'idhnillah. Wallahu alam. RN from Langham, Maryland. Please don't put the initials of the city or the town, huh? Just the initials of the name. Is it permissible to go waxing services with employee with need to access your private area? Your aura is prohibited. No one can see your aura except for your wife or your husband, your spouse, or that which your right hand possesses. Okay? As far as a doctor or any other type of service, then that's based off of need and necessity. A need and a necessity. So if it's not a need, if it's not a necessity, no one is allowed to see your aura. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. RM, Hanover, Germany. There is a hadith saying a man will be cast into hell because he enjoyed the good from the evil, but was doing it himself. Does it mean that one cannot ask people to do good if he is struggling with himself? What is meant by the hadith? Jazakallah khairan. Please go back to our explanation on the 40 hadith on seeking knowledge, in which we have explained this hadith, the hadith of Usama ibn Zayd, in full detail. The brief answer is no. That is not a correct understanding of the hadith. One has the obligation of enjoining the good and forbidding the evil, no matter what. And one has the obligation of following the ma'ruf and avoiding the munkar as well. However, if one was stuck between a rock and a hard place, enjoin the good and forbid the evil, even if you have sins and you're struggling, that's better than avoiding both of them. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Type initials coming from RA, Boston, Massachusetts. What NBA team do you support and who do you want to win this season? Allahu Akbar. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know who's playing. And I'm not saying that acting like I'm super pious, like, I hate sports, I never watch sports. I don't know. The last I knew, I think it was Milwaukee playing. I seen it. I was, where was that? Was it a laundromat or somewhere? I seen it in Milwaukee or something like that. I have no clue. I'm not against basketball. I played it when I was younger. But basketball is not like other sports that I'm more fond of. All right? If it was football, different story. All right, basketball is cool. It's nice. It's fun. I've played it. I've coached it. I've watched other brothers play, children play. It is not really something that superly duperly excites me like that. So I really don't follow it like that. All right. So I guess if I had to pick a team by default, I'll be a Sixers fan. All right, from my hometown of Philadelphia. Even though I live in New York City at the moment, but I'm not a Knicks fan. All right, nor am I a Brooklyn Nets fan. Sixers, Philly all day. Allah knows best. Hopefully the brothers and sisters from New York don't get too agitated or mad or upset or hurt by my words. Wallahu alam. RM from Hanover, Germany. Can a wife observe voluntary fast without telling her husband if she is worried about her sincerity? The Prophet ﷺ told her not to do that. Period. Following the sunnah is being sincere. Tayyib. Salam, MD from Jaipur, India. I don't watch movies, but is it fine if I watch the Sirah movie, the message it portrays some Sahaba, but not the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Well, the question will be, why don't you watch movies? You don't watch movies because of music, because of uncovered women, because it takes you away from the dhikr of Allah, because of tasweer, etc. If those are your reasons why you don't watch movies, then don't watch the message. As far as if the message does not include those bad reasons and you want to benefit from it, different story. Okay? What's important is, if a person does watch movies, then no doubt watching the message or many other types of movies is 10 times better than watching the other stuff. I obviously want to say a different word. The other stuff that comes on the movies. Alright? But if you don't watch the movies, then don't watch the movies. If you're not afflicted with the love of movies and watching movies, then don't watch it. If you want to watch it and it's going to boost your iman, go ahead. Allahu A'lam. طيب. Bronx, New York. TA. If a Muslim leader is established through khuruj, are they khariji? But now we have to obey them. I have some confusion on this subject. In brief, there are many ways behind a leader becoming the leader. And if he becomes the leader and everyone gives their allegiance to him and they obey him and he's recognized, then obviously he's the legitimate ruler. They have to give him bay'ah, their pledge and oath of allegiance, to obey, to follow, and to fight with, and to protect, etc., etc. So there are different ways. Some of the scholars of Islam mention that if a person taghallaba, he won, he beat, he came into power by force, and everyone obeys him and they agree, then he's the leader. Is he now a khariji? This question proves that everyone who fights or even rebels is not a khariji. And we've said many times before, beware of propaganda. Beware of propaganda. A leader who is not Islamic, who doesn't give that much time and care and concern to Islam, but when it comes to those who criticize him, those who say this about him, those who point out, etc., then there's Islam. Khuruj, no khuruj, I am the wali wal amr, etc. That's propaganda. And that's shameful propaganda, which is in most of the countries today. I myself, I don't care anything about Islam. I'm secular, I'm this, I'm moderate, I'm progressive, I'm friends with the kuffar, loving the kuffar, being with the kuffar, being protected by the kuffar, taking weapons from the kuffar, etc., etc., etc. But then when it comes to my political enemies, who demand things, who demand justice, who demand equality, who demand better treatment of the citizens of the country, then there's Islam and Khuruj, Quran and Sunnah. That's propaganda, so beware of that. Alright? Everyone who has an issue with the government is not a Khariji. The Khawarij are a sect. They have rules, they have principles, they have signs, they have guidelines that they follow. Everyone who talks about a ruler doesn't fall under those guidelines, nor those principles, nor those rules. And as we said, and we'll say it again, that is the brainwash that has been pumped and pushed into the people's minds under the name of the Salaf and Ahl Sunnah to protect the governments from any criticism, right or wrong. You can't say nothing about me. And if you do, you're a Khariji dog doomed to the fire of hell. That's not Islam, nor is that the way of the Salaf as-Salih. Abadan. No way. So beware of that. And a question like this should clearly show you how that makes no sense. Alright? Last but not least is, throughout history, I can't say every, but I would say most governments and most regimes, they only came into power through force. Through force. Through this dynasty falling down. And then they rose. This dynasty was done away with. And then they rose. And that's also very hypocritical as well, with regards to people who criticize Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and they talk about Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, he's this, he's that, he's a British agent, he's a fake scholar, he destroyed the Khilafah, etc., etc. Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab was not the first person to fight. The people that you're claiming he destroyed, they fought, and they killed Muslims on the battlefield. There were several wars and battles fought, in which there were swords and arrows and bows and lances and cannons against other Muslims. Alright, so the history has taught us is that most governments, when they come into power, we're talking about in the past, it was violence. It was a war. It was a civil war. There was someone revolting. There was someone rebelling. There was someone that was kicked out, removed. Then came peace and order, etc., etc. So don't take his story, but take history. Learn the facts and wipe off the brainwash and the propaganda that you hear from different speakers, whoever they are, scholars, whoever they are. They don't even realize that they're brainwashed. They're blindly following someone who's brainwashed, who's blindly following another person who's brainwashed. And they're telling you the same dogmatic propaganda that makes no sense. And Allah knows best. Tayyib. Alright guys, this will be our last question tonight. ZH from Chicago, Illinois. Assalamu alaikum. Mufti is specifying after Fajr and Maghrib for daily dhikr a bid'ah. Jazakallahu khairan. I don't understand what you mean by specifying. If the dhikr is from Quran and Sunnah, and you do it during those general times, that's the Sunnah times for dhikr. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Alright guys, that's going to be it for tonight. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.